Hello, it is Wednesdays with Chasey Poo. Today we are talking about feeling like a freak or like a weirdo or like out of place. So oh man, my whole life, I have felt like I did not belong, like I was a weirdo, like I was the weird kid. And there was multiple reasons for that. One, I didn't grow up with a mom. Everyone else did. And if my friends had one parent, it was always their mom. It was never their dad. And it was so rare. And I think when I was like, I don't remember how old, like maybe like, I'm gonna say like 11, I met somebody who had a similar story than me. Like her mom had left when she was super young and she lived with her dad. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever heard a story that's similar to mine. And I clicked with this person very well. But other than that, I just felt very excluded from a lot of things because I couldn't do anything on Mother's Day. I would write a card for my dad, be like, Happy Mother's Day, Daddy, you know? And I just felt weird because everyone else had a mom and I didn't. So that was one of the things that made me feel out of place and not really fit in. I also didn't fit in because I was a very intense tomboy and I really liked boys stuff and I really wanted to hang out with the boys and be with the boys, but I couldn't because I wasn't a boy, and that really hurt me. And I just kind of remember not fitting in and feeling like a weirdo because I'm like, well, I'm not a girl and I'm not a boy, what am I? So you kind of just sitting there and you just kind of have to reflect and you just don't really understand what's going on, which is really sad, you know? And then later on when I came out sexuality-wise and then trans-wise. So if we kind of fast forward like 15 years later and we are here today, I am 27 years old, I no longer feel like a freak. I sometimes have a lot of internalized transphobia where I feel like not all trans people, but me specifically, that I am weird and that people shouldn't accept me because I'm trans, but they should accept my friends. It's very weird thinking, especially because I'm trans and I want people to accept me, and I want to be accepted, and I want people to accept my friends and all of us together and stuff like that. So it's weird where my brain goes, honestly. But years and years of being taught that trans people are bad, still inside me after all these years. But in terms of like feeling like a freak, that doesn't happen to me, luckily, and that is definitely a privilege that I have. I pass as a very male, masculine individual, and I don't have issues with that at all. I tell people that I'm trans a lot, and when I feel safe and when I meet new people, and usually they already know. I haven't actually had to out myself in a while because people either meet me at a talk where I talk about being trans, or like if I talk to them, I don't ever out myself like, oh, I'm trans. No, I'll be like, oh, so I make YouTube videos, and then they'll say like, oh, what do you do? Oh, you know, like the trans community and stuff like that. Like I had to do that in an assessment for anxiety disorder this week, and that's kind of how I came out to them, and that's fine for me. And at that moment, it felt great to be in front of an assessment team and not feel like a freak, because in the past, I have sat there and had therapists and psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers look at me, and I have to explain that I'm trans, and then they relate everything to me being trans, and that makes me feel like a freak. You know, you go in for an ear infection and they ask you, like, did you have the surgery? Instead of, have you had any type of surgery in the last year? We need to know just, you know, in case it has a relation. Instead of, so you're trans, have you had the surgery? No, that's curiosity, and that makes me feel like a freak. But it's when I went to this assessment this week where I just mentioned that I was trans briefly, and they didn't even ask me they only asked me like, is that when you transitioned, like in 2013? I'm like, no, I transitioned like in 2009, long time ago, I don't think about it anymore. And that's it. You know what, they respected me, and I for the first time in a real assessment, I did not feel like a freak. I felt like they were actually listening to me and not putting this weird like trans veil over me and only seeing the trans part, which is what a lot of people have to deal with, and I've had to deal with in the past, not just with like mental health, but physical health, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. That's all I want to kind of talk about with this one. This is kind of a heavy topic. If you want to comment in the comments below, if you want to talk a little bit about your experiences, go ahead. But of course, this is a little bit heavy, so you don't have to. But hopefully next week is a better week, and I will see you later. Have a great day. Bye.